Hi viewers, welcome to Ganesh Educational Hub. In this video, I am going to discuss BTB Lab Vivao's questions and answers. BTB Lab means Basic Electrical and Electronics Engineering Lab. In this video, total 5 slides are there. In first slides, I will discuss brake test on DC shunt motor 1 to 5 questions, and second slide brake test and DC shunt motor 6 to 9 questions, and third slide brake test and DC shunt motor 10 to 12 questions, and fourth slide brake test on 3-phase induction motor 1 to 5 questions, and last to fifth slide brake test on 3-phase induction motor 6 to 8 questions. I will go to first slide. Brake test on DC shunt motor. First question: what is the principle of operation of a DC motor? The operation of a DC motor based on the principle that when a current carrying conductor is placed in a uniform magnetic field, that conductor experiences a mechanical force. That means that conductor get a mechanical force. So here, when a current carrying conductor is placed in a uniform magnetic field, that conductor get a mechanical force, that is called torque. Second question: what is the aim of conducting a brake test on DC shunt motor? What is the main aim? The main objective is to investigate the performance characteristics of a DC shunt motor by applying direct load has been successfully achieved, and the efficiency of DC shunt motor also has been analyzed and discussed. Here we are mainly conducting to the brake test and DC shunt motor to find the performance characteristics of DC shunt motor and the efficiency of DC shunt motor. Next, third question: what will happen if DC motor is operated below rated speed? This will result in overheating due to two reasons. First, more field current has to be maintained in order to produce the rated voltage. Second, decrease a fanning action due to decrease in speed. Fourth question: what are the operators required to conduct the brake test on DC shunt motor? Here, the operator required to conduct the brake test on DC shunt motor is voltmeter, ammeter, rheostat, tachometer, and connecting wires. Here, the voltmeter can be used to measure the voltage, and ammeter can be used to measure the current, and rheostat can be used to vary the resistance in whole circuit. So with help of this rheostat, we will vary the resistance, and when we will vary the resistance, with help of this resistance we will increase or decrease the voltage and maintain speed also. Tachometer: with help of this tachometer we will measure the speed of motors. And connecting wires: with help of these wires we will connect the circuit. Next, fifth question: what is the function of rheostat? Most important, rheostat is an electrical device which is used as a variable resistor. It can vary the resistance through a whole circuit. It is made up of two terminals, of which one is fixed and other is movable. So here this rheostat has two terminal. One is the fixed terminal and second one is the movable. So this moving terminal helps in varying the resistance of whole circuit, and hence it can control the current or voltage in a circuit. So here this is the rheostat. Rheostat is nothing but the variable resistance. So with help of this variable resistance or rheostat, we will control the resistance. Control the resistance means we will add the resistance or reduce the resistance. When we will add the resistance, current will be decreased. So in this way we will control the current, voltage and speed also with help of this rheostat. Next slide. Sixth question: why the starting current high in DC motor? See here, when we will go to experiment, the starting current is very high. For DC motors, voltage equation is V equal to EB minus IaRa. Here V is the terminal voltage, EB means back EMF, Ia means armature current, Ra means armature resistance. At starting, EB is 0, the back EMF is 0. Therefore, V equal to IaRa. At starting, this back EMF is equal to 0. Initially, there is no back EMF in any motor. So, EB equal 0. Therefore, V equal to IaRa. This terminal will be 0. So, Ia equal to V by Ra means voltage by armature resistance, where Ra is very less, like 0.0 ohms only. So, Ia will become highly increased. The excessive current will damage commutator brushes and eventually blow out the fuses. Seventh question. What is the function of tachometer? A tachometer is an instrument measuring the rotation speed of a shaft or disc of a motor in RPM. Okay, RPM means rotation per minute. So here, tachometers can be used to measure the speed of a DC motor. Next question. List the formulas for theoretical calculation of a brake test on DC shunt motor. There are some calculations formulas are there. First, torque or shaft torque, T equal to S or J, where S equal to spring balance, S equal to S1 minus S2. Here first S1 is the higher value and second S2 is the lower value. Next to J, acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.81. This is the everyone knows. R equal to radius of brake drum. Output power P naught equal to 2 pi nt by 60. Input power Pi equal to VIL, terminal voltage load current. Finally, percentage efficiency equal to output power by input power into 100. With help of these formulas, we will calculate the efficiency of DC shunt motor and their performance characteristics also. Next question. Why the field rheostat is kept at minimum in the event of starting? Give reasons. See here, when we will go to the experiment, the field rheostat will be kept at minimum. Why? When you keep rheostat at minimum position, the external resistance added to the field winding is 0. See here, the rheostat keep at minimum position means the external resistance added to the field winding is 0. So which means the field winding is excited with its rated current only. Therefore, the field flux is maximum and the motor rotates at rated speed. If you change the field current by increasing the field winding resistance, the field flux would reduce and the speed of the motor will increase than the rated speed. Let's I go to the third slide. 10th question. What happens when a DC motor is connected across an AC supply? Actually, the DC motor is always connected to DC supply, but if the DC motor is connected to AC supply, what happens? First point, the motor will run, but it would not carry same load as it would on DC supply. Second one, more sparking at the brushes. Third one, eddy currents will be high and will cause overheating and may eventually burn on AC supply. Finally, it will cause overheating and may eventually burn on AC supply. 11th question. What is the back EMF or counter EMF? It is the most important questions in DC motor. Actually, the EMF will be induced in the DC generators only, but in DC motors also some voltage will be generated, that is called back EMF. So here, when the armature of a DC motor rotates under the influence of the driving torque, the armature conductors move through the magnetic field and hence EMF is induced in them as in a generator. Like a generator, here also some EMF will be generated in the motor. The induced EMF acts in opposite direction to the applied voltage V according to Lenz's law, and it is known as back EMF or counter EMF, it is represented by E suffix B. What are the application of DC shunt motor? These motors are used wherever the stable speed is required. Wherever the stable speed is required, these DC shunt motors will be used. This kind of DC motors can be used in centrifugal pumps, lifts, waving machines, lathe machines, blowers, fans, conveyors, spinning machine, etc. How can you reverse the direction of rotation of a DC motor? We can reverse the direction of rotation of a DC motor by either reversing the field current or armature current. If both the currents are reversed, the motor will run in original direction. So here we can reverse the direction of rotation of a DC motor either reversing the field current or armature current. Let's say go to the next slide. Brake test on three-phase induction motor. First question. What is the working principle of three-phase induction motor? The induction motor works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. This three-phase induction motor always works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. Second question. What is the aim of conducting a brake test on three-phase induction motor? The main objective is to investigate the performance characteristics of three-phase induction motor by applying direct load has been successfully achieved, and the efficiency of three-phase induction motor when load was applied also has been analyzed and discussed. Here we will observe the performance characteristics of three-phase induction motor and efficiency also. Third question. What are the operators required to conduct the brake test on three-phase induction motor? Here, some operators are required to conduct the brake test on three-phase induction motors. That is the voltmeter, ammeter, wattmeter, tachometer, and connecting wires. Here, voltmeter can be used to measure the voltage, ammeter can be used to measure the current, wattmeter can be used to measure the power, tachometer can be used to measure the speed, and connecting wires. With help of this connecting wires we will connect the circuit. Next question. What do you mean by synchronous speed of a three-phase induction motor? The speed at which the flux produced by a three-phase starter winding of induction motor rotate is called the synchronous speed of the motor. It is given by ns equal to 120 f by p. Here the synchronous speed is represented by n suffix s, ns equal to 120 f by p. Here f is the frequency and p is the number of poles. ns equal to 120 f by p. This is the most important questions. Define slip in induction machine. This is also most important question. Slip of the induction motor is defined as the difference between the synchronous speed ns and actual speed of the rotor, that is motor speed, expressed as fraction of the synchronous speed ns. So slip equal to ns minus n by ns. Here ns means the synchronous speed, n means the motor speed, ns is the synchronous speed. So finally slip is s equal to ns minus n by ns. Let's say go to the last slide. Sixth question. Why induction machine always run below synchronous speed? Induction motor works on the principle of induction. When both rotating magnetic field of stator and rotor of induction motor rotate with same speed, no EMF is induced in the rotor conductors, resulting no torque is produced in the rotor of induction machine and motor will stop. Therefore, in order to have torque for rotating, the rotor induced EMF is required. Hence, induction motor rotates with speed less than synchronous speed. This is the reason for induction motor always run below synchronous speed. List the formulas for theoretical calculation of brake test on three-phase induction motor. See here, we will calculate torque first. Torque equal to S or J. S means the spring balance, G is the acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.81. R equal to radius of brake drum. Output power equal to 2 pi nt by 60. Input power P equal to VI. IL means load current. Power factor cos phi equal to W by root 3 into VI. Percentage slip. Percentage slip equal to Ns minus N by Ns into 100. Finally, percentage efficiency equal to output power by input power into 100. Why is it necessary to start an induction motor at reduced voltage? This is also most important. Due to decreased voltage or reduced voltage, torque is also reduced, resulting in a soft or easy start. Reduced voltage starting is needed for two reasons. First reason is to avoid overloading the power distribution system, and second one is to avoid unnecessary wear and tear on equipment by reducing starting torque. So here the main two reasons: overloading, and second is to avoid wear and tear on equipment by reducing starting torque. Thank you.